Everybody looks like they're winning online today. I mean, we've got the perfect body, the perfect vacation, the perfect car, the perfect dinner, the perfect relationship, the perfect life. But here's the question I want to ask you today. If everybody looks this happy online, why does it feel like so many people are lonelier now than ever? And more importantly, what is this doing to dating? Because I don't think the problem today is just men, and I don't think the problem today is just women. I don't think the problem is only dating apps. I think the problem is bigger than all that. I think social media has changed the way people see themselves, the way they compare themselves, the way they date, and the way they judge other people. And I think we are living in a world where a lot of people are no longer looking for love. They're looking for validation, and validation is much easier to get than love. Love takes work. Validation only takes a post. Before I go any further, let me say this clearly. This episode is not about attacking women, and it's not about attacking men. And it's not about saying everyone online is fake or shallow or broken. That is not the point here. The point is that we are all living in a culture now where image is being rewarded more than character. Attention is being rewarded more than connection, and performance is being rewarded more than peace. And when that becomes the culture, dating is going to suffer. Because dating requires something social media does not reward very well. Dating requires honesty and patience, humility, emotional maturity, and the ability to see another person as a real human being. Not just an option, not just a profile, not just a body or a paycheck or a status symbol, and not someone who makes you look good online. And I think that is where a lot of this is breaking down today. There was a time when people mostly compared themselves to people in their town or their school or maybe in their workplace, their friend group, or in their general neighborhood. Now we compare ourselves to everybody. We compare ourselves to the richest people, to the best looking people, to the most filtered people, to the most edited people, the people on vacation every week, the people that are showing their abs, the people that are showing off their fancy cars, the people showing the perfect relationship, living in the perfect house, and leading the most perfect life. What we're really seeing most of the time is not their life. What we're seeing is their advertisement. We are seeing the version of themselves that they want the world to believe. And the problem is, after a while, people start dating the advertisement. They're not dating the real person anymore. They are dating the image, the lifestyle, the body, the fantasy, the possibility, and the illusion. And then when real life shows up, people are disappointed because real life is not a highlight reel. Real life has bad days and it has disappointments. It has stresses and insecurity and unfortunately aging, money problems, emotional baggage, and many quiet nights where nobody's clapping for you. That is the part nobody posts, but that is the part real relationships have to survive. Look at the kind of content we see every day. And again, these images I'm showing here are AI created examples. These are not real people, but they represent something we all see constantly. The woman posting the perfect beach selfie, the man standing in front of the expensive sports car, the woman showing the perfect body, or the man showing off his new Rolex watch, or his $500 bottle of bourbon, or the beautiful skyline view that he has, or the gym body, or just his overall lifestyle. And the captions always say the same kind of thing. Know your worth, build different, standards high, never settle, level up, main character energy, peace over drama. I'll tell you, now there's nothing wrong with being confident, and there's nothing wrong with working hard, looking good, or building something, or improving yourself, or being proud of what you've obtained. But when your entire identity becomes the image, you are going to have a hard time building intimacy, because intimacy is not a performance. Intimacy is what happens when the performance stops. And this is where dating today gets very, very difficult. A lot of people are bringing their online persona into their dating life. They want to be admired. but they don't really want to be known. They want attention without accountability, options without a commitment, romance without compromise, and someone perfect while they themselves are still very much privately struggling. And I'm not saying that to attack people. I'm saying that because it is human. A lot of people are hurting today. A lot of people today are very lonely, and a lot of people today feel very insecure. There are a lot of people that are trying to prove something today. But the problem is social media gives people a place to hide those struggles behind a perfect picture. And the more applause they get, the harder it becomes to take the mask off. Think about this. A person can be sitting alone in their house at midnight, feeling completely disconnected, but they post one picture and suddenly the comments start to fly in. You look amazing. Hey queen, hey king, goals unreal, living your best life. You know what I mean? And for a few minutes, they feel seen. They feel wanted. They feel important. They feel like someone noticed them. But you know what? That feeling quickly fades. So what do? They post again. And then again, and then again, because the validation becomes a cycle. And I think that cycle is one of the reasons dating has become so dysfunctional today. Because a lot of people are now addicted to being desired by many people instead of being loved deeply by one person. And that's the big difference. Being desired by many people is easy now. Post the right picture, use the right angle, say the right caption, and wait for the likes. But being loved deeply by one person is so much harder. That takes vulnerability. It takes consistency, emotional courage, honesty, and the ability to be seen on your worst day, not just your best angle. And this affects both men and women. Women are not the only ones doing this. Men are doing it too. A lot of men are posting their fancy new cars, their new Rolex watch, that expensive bottle of liquor, their gym body that they've acquired, or their business class seat on a plane, the luxury apartment, the Cuban cigars, the rooftop view, and the whole "I built this" image. And again, there is nothing wrong with success, and there is nothing wrong with a man working hard, getting in shape, making money, dressing well, or enjoying the life that he's built. But there is a difference between success and performance. There is a difference between confidence and security dressed up as confidence. There is a difference between living a good life and constantly needing to prove that you are living a good life. And that's where dating gets poisoned. Because now people are not just asking, do I like this person? They are asking, does this person match my image? Will this person impress my friend? Does this person raise my status? Can I do better, or is there someone richer, younger, better looking, more exciting, more successful, and more impressive online? And when people start thinking that way, they stop seeing human beings and they start seeing rankings. That is not dating, that is shopping. And dating apps made this worse, and social media made it even worse because now everyone feels replaceable. If one person disappoints you, swipe. If one person is boring, swipe. If one person has a flaw, swipe. If a person wants to commit and you're not ready, swipe. If one person is too real and you're not, swipe. There is always another face, another profile, another body, another possibility, and another fantasy. Because when you believe someone better is always one swipe away, you're never fully invested in that person standing in front of you. And if both people are thinking that way, that relationship never gets a chance to become real. And this is why so many people today say dating feels exhausting. It's not just the date, it's the whole game around the date. It's the texting, the ghosting, the mixed signals, the comparison, the fear of being used, the fear of being rejected, the fear of being settled for, and the fear that the other person is still talking to 5 other people. It is the fear that you're not enough, and that fear is everywhere now. Men feel it, women feel it, young people feel it, older people feel it, divorced people feel it, attractive people feel it, and even successful people feel it. Because the problem is just not whether you can get attention. The problem is whether attention actually turns into connection. And for a lot of people, it doesn't. We have people sitting right next to each other, but they're not really together. I mean, they're physically present, but they're emotionally somewhere else. They're on their phone, they're checking comments, they're checking messages, they're watching other people's lives, comparing, scrolling, and staying distracted. And then they wonder why the relationship feels empty. But how can a relationship feel full when the phone is always in the middle of it? How can intimacy grow when one person is always performing for an audience? How can trust grow when people are constantly keeping one foot in a relationship and one foot in the marketplace? This is a serious problem. And I think the loneliest part of all this is that many people are pretending that they're fine. They look confident, successful, desirable, and like they have unlimited options. But off camera, many of them are quietly struggling. They want love, but they don't know how to receive it. They want connection, but they're afraid of being vulnerable. They want loyalty, but they are addicted to attention. They want peace, but they keep chasing excitement. They want a real partner, but they keep choosing people who only match the image. And then they say dating is broken. But sometimes dating is not the only thing that's broken. Sometimes our expectations are broken. Sometimes our values are broken, or our attention span is broken, or our ability to be honest with ourselves is broken. And that's not easy to say, but I think it's so very true today. And now here's where I think this gets even more serious. If social media has already trained people to get emotional satisfaction from attention, likes, comments, DMs, and fantasy images, what happens when artificial intelligence gets involved? We are seeing AI companions. We're seeing AI girlfriends and boyfriends, AI chatbots that never reject you. They never challenge you. They never have a bad day, and they never ask you to grow, and they never tell you that you're wrong. Now, imagine where this goes over the next 10 to 20 years. What happens when AI has a voice or a face or a body and a personality designed exactly around what you wanted? And eventually, maybe even a physical robot. And I know that sounds so science fiction, but I'll tell you, I don't think it's that far away anymore. And if people are already choosing validation over connection and fantasy over reality and convenience over commitment, then AI companionship can become very, very tempting. Because real relationships are hard. They require compromise and patience and forgiveness and communication and dealing with another person's needs, their flaws, their emotions, and their history. AI won't require that. AI will be easy, but easy doesn't always mean healthy, and easy doesn't always mean real. This is the question that we have to ask. Are we becoming so uncomfortable with real people that we'd rather build artificial ones? Are we becoming so addicted to being admired that we no longer know how to be loved? Are we becoming so afraid of rejection that we would rather choose a fantasy that can never reject us? This is where I think society may be headed. And that should concern all of us, not just men, not just women, but all of us. Because if we lose our ability to connect with real people, we lose something deeply human. Now, I don't want this episode to end in doom, because I do think this can correct itself. But I think it will only correct itself when people get tired of fake connection. At some point, a lot of people are going to realize that likes don't hold your hand, and comments don't sit with you when life gets hard, and followers don't make house calls. And a perfect profile does not mean you have a peaceful life. Being desired by strangers is not the same thing as being loved by someone who actually knows you. That's the difference. And I think the people who will win in dating going forward, they're not going to be the flashiest people online. They're going to be the people who can still be very much real. The people who can put down their phone. The people who can have a real conversation. The people who can tell the truth. The people who are not constantly chasing the next better option. The people who understand that love is not about looking perfect. It's about being present. So what's really wrong with dating today? I think the answer is this. We have too much image and not enough intimacy, too much attention and not enough connection, too many options and not enough patience, too much performance and not enough truth. And until that changes, dating is going to keep feeling broken. But the good news is you don't have to live your life that way. You can choose differently. You can stop chasing people who are addicted to attention. You can stop trying to compete with someone's fantasy life. You can stop judging your worth by likes, comments, swipes, or followers. You can look for the person who is real when the camera is off, because that is where love lives. Not in a post, not in a caption, and not in a perfect photo. Love lives in the quiet moments nobody sees. And maybe that is what dating needs again. Less performance, more presence, less image, more honesty, less pretending, and more real connection. That is how we start fixing what is wrong with dating today. So if this episode made you think, leave me a comment below, please. Do you think social media has made dating worse? Do you think people are lonelier now, even though we're more connected than ever? And what do you think about AI companionship? And where do you think AI companionship is going to take this? I really want to hear your thoughts below, so please comment. So thank you for tuning in on the podcast, and thank you for watching on the YouTube channel, and I will see you on the next episode.
Thanks for listening to Dating to Win. If you're serious about improving your dating game, don't miss an episode. Hit the subscribe button or go to youtube.com/datingtowin25. Good luck out there, and we'll see you on the next episode of Dating to Win.